Africa holds over 120 billion barrels of proven crude oil reserves, yet still spends tens of billions of dollars every year importing the very few refined from that oil. We export raw wealth for penny, then buy it back at a massive markup. This isn't just bad business. This is how a continent quietly exports its wealth and imports poverty, one few shipment at a time.
So how did the most resource-rich continent on Earth become a customer in a game it should be leading? Let's break down the economic paradox of Africa's oil.
On one side, you have oceans of crude off the coast of Nigeria, Angola, Libya, Algeria. The list goes on. Tankers line up to carry this raw oil away, shipped abroad. On the other side, everyday Africans in 2026 are squeezed by record fuel prices. Transport fares are doubling and the cost of food is rising because everything else depends on fuel. Here's the irony. Many African countries export crude oil at global market prices, then import refined petrol, diesel, and jet fuel from Europe, Middle East, or Asia, often at a margin that can quadruple the original value after shipment, insurance, taxes, and refining profits are stacked in. That's like selling cocoa beans for cents, then buying back chocolate bars for dollars, and it goes on forever.
For decades, the country's 4 refineries were allowed to rot as it imports refined products under a subsidy regime that last year cost Nigeria nearly $4 billion, despite having the largest crude oil reserves in Africa.
So why doesn't Africa just refine its own oil? The short answer is decades of underinvestment, mismanagement, and a global system that rewards us more for staying as a raw material suppliers to the world than becoming industrial powers. Most state-owned refineries across the continent were built in the 1960s, 70s, and 80s. Many run far below capacity or completely shut down due to poor maintenance, corruption scandals, or lack of upgrades to meet cleaner fuel standards. Every time a refinery goes down, fuel imports goes up, and so does the import bills. This is the real cost. Money that should build schools, hospitals, and roads is shipped out to pay foreign refiners. The result is a hidden tax on development. The more fuel we import, the more pressure on local currencies. The more prices rise for everyone.
I thought building a refinery like this is supposed to be a pride for everybody. Because we're not the only country. Angola, they've been trying for 20 years. They are still trying. Uganda, they've been trying for the last 15 years. None of them. There is no production capacity in Africa. Only 2 countries are not importing, which is, Algeria and Libya. Apart from this, everybody is an importer. We cannot continue to be slaves while we export, raw material, then we import.
In 2026, a new character walked onto the stage. The 650,000 barrel per day production at the Dangote Refinery in Lagos, Nigeria, the largest single train refinery in the world. Once it ramped up its full capacity, something dramatic happened. West Africa's imports of refined fuel began to fall, with some estimates putting the drop at around a quarter in just months as local supply increased. Nigeria was one of the world's biggest gasoline importers, suddenly started exporting refined fuel to its neighbors while cutting its oil import needs. Though this shift hasn't provided much cheaper fuel for the locals, but it made fuel closer than ever before. It exposed how expensive the old crude export and import fuel really was. When one refinery can supply a big chunk of regional demand, it shows how much money was leaving the continent for work that could have been done at home. The paradox is not that Africa exports crude and imports fuel. The true paradox is that we accepted these as normal for so long. The choice was never just between exporting raw and importing refined. The real choice is between remaining a warehouse of raw materials or becoming a workshop that can turn these raw materials into valuables in our own terms. New mega refineries, smarter regional deals, the cleaner technologies can turn this story around. But only if government, investors, and citizens refuse to stay comfortable in dependency. Because at the end of the day, this isn't just a story about oil, it's a story about power. If you want more deep dive into the economics that shapes everyday life in Africa, hit subscribe, drop a comment with your country's fuel story, and share this video so more people can understand the true cost of this black gold paradox in the continent.